Alright, we're talking about a very interesting subject, and that is what's going to happen to Garou in the story. So, currently in the webcomic, the last time we've seen Garou was in chapter 115, when he woke up after getting trashed by Orochi. Puri Puri Prisoner randomly found him, and then he went on to trash Puri Puri Prisoner. And after that, he kind of just went on his way in kind of like a feral state. We haven't seen him since then. So that means I'm going to be talking about everything that happens to him after that point, including what's going on currently in the story of the webcomic. So yeah, there's going to be crazy amounts of spoilers in this video, so if you don't want to know what's going to happen, I suggest you check out now. So before I start talking about what's currently going on in the webcomic and what the potential of Garou's future is, let me just give you a quick refresher of how we got to this point. So I'm going to be going over webcomic stuff, as the manga, as of the recording of this video, has not covered this portion of the story yet. Then he's eventually going to save the S-Class from both Black S and Golden S. And during his fight with Golden S, he's going to transform into Awakened Garou. This is going to happen in the manga as well, as per what Murata has said. So why does he transform into Awakened Garou in his fight with Golden S? Well, please check out my video, Awakened Garou Explained. That will give you an in-depth answer for exactly what is going on during this sequence. So after he becomes Awakened Garou, he kills Golden S. Then he pretty much defeats the entire S-Class strike team. And then he will inevitably fight Saitama. And this fight is awesome. Even in the webcomic, it's great. It's Boros-esque already then. But Murata says that this will be even greater scale than the Boros fight once it reaches the manga. So that can kind of give you a good idea of what's going to be going on when he eventually fights him. But of course, Saitama is eventually going to defeat him, and after he does, the monster shell around Garou starts to break, and it reveals that he is still his human self underneath this shell, just with shorter hair now. So after this, Amai Mask, Child Emperor, and Zombie Man demand that Garou be executed, because of all of the crap that he's pulled this whole entire saga. But Saitama disagrees and says that he should just pay his bill at the diner that he dashed from, a couple chapters back from that point. So then Silverfang wakes up and gives Garou a restrained beating, something that reminds Garou of when Bang expelled him from his dojo. And seeing that Bang can't finish the deed, considering that he still loves Garou more or less, Amai Mask steps in to finish off Garou, but Tario jumps in front of him, defending Garou, saying that he saved him multiple times, that he's a true hero, and he's telling Garou to just run, get out of there. But in the midst of all of the commotion caused by Tario, Garou does in fact run away, and we see that Saitama just straight up allows him to do this. So that's pretty much the last time that we saw Garou in the story for a very long time, and we know for sure that he is alive and that he is going to survive this arc. It wasn't until chapter 111, which was released earlier this year, when we would get an official canon update on what was actually going on with Garou. So let me explain what was going on before this point, before I can get into exactly what's going on. So in this chapter, King goes on a vision quest looking for various martial arts masters, as per advice from Silverfang. And after visiting many dojos, King is finally told to visit one last dojo, which is allegedly the legendary final training ground. And this is because the master Mekasuyu says that it's for those who have reached the limit, but still long for more. The final destination for those who have lived through endless trials and tribulations, to face one true self and attain enlightenment. So once King enters this alleged final training ground dojo, he finds there's a corpse of a martial arts dude in a meditative pose. So then he says that, I've seen this before, it's like in an anime, to stay and meditate about one's past and future until one finds the true answers. So we could just assume that this guy was just meditating until he died, which, people have done before. We know about that in history and whatnot. We know that monks have purposely mummified themselves as to attain transcendence or whatever. But afterwards he says, this isn't what I signed up for, and he decides to leave. Who can blame King? But as he's leaving, he says he hears a waterfall in the back of the dojo and decides to go for a drink. But once he gets to the waterfall, boom, he sees Garou there, still with short hair, of course, because, after the whole Saitama thing, but he's sitting meditating underneath the waterfall. And that's pretty much the last time we saw Garou. And also, he's not dead because he opens an eye, indicating that he kind of sensed King was nearby, or at least somebody was nearby. But like I said, that's the last time we see him, and we don't know what's going to happen after him after that point. But what does all of this mean? Well, I think we can kind of put 2 and 2 together here, and that Garou was kind of going on his own vision quest, and he's going to the legendary final training ground, and he probably discovered for himself that, oh, well, I need to meditate too. I need to do this in order to face my true self and attain enlightenment. I mean, it also goes back to what Master Mekasuyu says, and I think this is a perfect narration for what is going on with Garou here. Because he says it's the final destination for those who have lived through endless trials and tribulations, and to face one's true self and attain enlightenment. This is exactly what Garou is trying to do here, because obviously he's faced endless trials and tribulations. I mean, just follow him from his Hero Hunter days all the way to him fighting Saitama. Obviously, he's been through hell and back. And now that he has attained the peak of his power, essentially like approaching disaster level god in strength, now he is trying to face his true self and attain enlightenment. Obviously, because he ran into Saitama and realized that there's somebody out there who makes him look like nothing. And he saw that he's not going to attain his original ultimate goal of uniting the world in peace against him representing the ultimate evil. So now he has to rethink his life. He needs to look at himself, and now he's just trying to meditate or do some kind of training in order to figure out what he wants to truly do in life and where he's going to go after this point. And it's showing us that Garou has definitely matured. He's learned from this encounter with Saitama and just everything that has happened before that, and I really like this. This is great character development for Garou, but it also shows us that he is still going to be a part of the story. I mean, come on, it goes without saying, he's a great character. He survived the arc for a reason, and he will be back in the story, but it really remains to see when that will exactly be. But I think this might be giving us some insight into what he's going to be doing after that. Now, he's probably still going to be, you know, cool anti-hero, staunch Garou. Like, I don't think he's going to become like a good guy and have like a 180 in his personality. But maybe his morals will change. Maybe he will just try to stick to the side of what could be seen as good or what could be seen as altruistic justice. And maybe he will just try to take on the monsters and maybe help the heroes. So I don't think he's going to become a hero or anything like that. I think that's very unlikely for it to happen to him. But I think he'll kind of be like a pseudo-hero. Like, he'll fight side by side with them every now and then, but he'll kind of be like a vigilante. Rather than a hero hunter, he'll be like a monster hunter or something like that. And maybe he'll just try to actively help people in the best way that he can, but not, you know, be an official title of a hero or anything like that. So that also means I don't think he's going to join the Neo Heroes either. That's a question that I get a lot with Garou post, you know, Awakened, post the Monster Association arc. But let me also address another question that I get a lot, and that's if he can still go into his awakened state. Can he still become like the monster, pseudo-monster thing that he was when he fought Saitama? So I don't think so, and let me go into why that is. So after Garou, like, de-evolves from his giant winged monster form, Saitama punches him in the face and it cracks. And then he says, oh, I'm losing power. And then we see, like, this black smoke-like substance coming out of his face. And then he says, my power's leaking out. My Monster Calamity Godslayer fist. Damn it, don't leave me. So I think that's probably telling us that he doesn't have that anymore. Whatever it was, you know, I talk about it in my Awakened Garou Explained video, but likely means that he doesn't have, like, what Hellfire and Gale have. Like, I don't think he can go in between monster and human the way that they did, because it's not really clear what he was in the first place. Like, it wasn't like a monster form, it was just something else. And given the narration and the dialogue from what he said, it's likely that he doesn't have it anymore. So I wouldn't count on seeing Awakened Garou anytime soon. Now, can he attain that form again? Probably. I mean, why not? But I don't think he can just, like, go in and out of it the way that Hellfire and Gale do with their forms. So that's pretty much it for what's going to happen with Garou, what his projected future is, and what his implied character development is. So let me know what you think is going to happen with Garou. Do you think he's just going to become a hero and maybe join the Neo Heroes, maybe join the Hero Association, or is he going to become a disciple of God in the future? That's another possibility, maybe. But let me know, and if you liked the video, guys, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon. It gives you access to a weekly Q&A, and if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.